Kenyan politics is not clean. It has never been clean.
Mtu wangu nakwambia ni mbaya.
Behind the speeches, behind the rallies, behind the smiling politicians, there's a much darker game that is being played. A game of spies, a game of moles, and sometimes the person standing right next to you may actually be working for your enemy.
All those people are political cassids. They can turn against you.
Today, the suspicion surrounds one man, Ngunjiri Wambogo.
Jubilee Party, keep entertaining this NIS mole. Na mutakuja kuregret vile Gachagua regret.
A man who has moved between political camps so seamlessly that many people are now asking one uncomfortable question. Was he planted there all along? And more importantly, after Gachagua exposed him as a mole, why did Fred Matiang'i warmly welcome him in Jubilee Party and continue working with him? Because as a result, now Fred Matiang'i finds himself in deep trouble. Let's talk about it. If you love this kind of content, go ahead and like this video and subscribe. Now let's get to the video.
Hii mambo yote unasikia Gachagua alikuwa recorded mpaka ikamfikisha impeachment. Hiyo ilikuwa kazi ya Ngunjiri Wambogo.
If there's one thing that many political observers agree on, it is this. Kenyan elections are fought with strategy, but sometimes with very dirty strategy. And critics often claim that William Ruto is one of the most strategic political operators in the country.
We are not under any illusion that it's going to be easy. This guy has the state. He has proclivities, inclinations to violence. You have seen it. We are up against a very wily politician. We have to give him his flowers. He knows his stuff.
To be able to win the 2022 election, when the government looked extremely powerful, you had the full backing of Uhuru Kenyatta, you had the machinery of Jubilee Party, you had the powerful coalition known as Azimio la Umoja, led by Raila Amolo Odinga. It was a formidable alliance. On paper, defeating such a coalition looked almost impossible, but politics is not always fought in the open. Sometimes, the battle is fought from within.
Losing an election is a multiplication of that feeling. Why do I say that? You've been in office for 5 years. You are not planning not to go back.
At the time, Ngunjiri Wambogo was a Jubilee insider, a loyal member of the ruling party, a frontline defender of the government narrative. He was so deeply embedded within Jubilee politics that no one suspected anything unusual. Then, something unexpected happened.
We focus so much in fighting the national fight that we actually forgot we have local politics to play. Right.
After the 2022 election, he lost his Nyeri town MP seat as a result of the UDA yellow fever. You guys understand what that means, yes?
And you walk around and you listen to people and they'll tell you, Hesh, ask you love you. But you went to fight our heart. You know, actually, I remember them telling me that you went to fight our heart as we loved Ruto.
To many observers, that looked like the end of his political career. But behind the scenes, something very different was happening, because soon after losing his seat, he resurfaced inside the office of the deputy president, working directly under Rigathi Gachagua.
Gachagua alifikiria ndiye alimtafuta akuwe personal assistant. But this guy alitafutwa na Ruto. That's why ukisoma ile story alikuwa anaandika, alisema ati alishangaa sana ati Gachagua alimpeleka State House wakaongea na Ruto for hours, ati Ruto alikuwa anamrespect sana.
At the time, if you asked Gachagua, he believed that he's the one who had brought Wambogo into his team. In fact, Wambogo even publicly joked that he's the one who helped fix the Gachagua's famous suit problem, helping shape his image as the new deputy president. To the public, it looked like a simple political alliance. But according to some political observers, there may have been another explanation. What if Wambogo was never really working for Gachagua? What if he was put there by someone else?
He was NIS mole. Hii mambo yote unasikia Gachagua alikuwa recorded mpaka ikamfikisha impeachment. Hiyo ilikuwa kazi ya Ngunjiri Wambogo. After Gachagua was impeached, kuna mambo alikuja akaketi chini, akajiuliza, hii mambo yote ilikuwa recorded. Hii mambo yote ilifika huko juu. Ilifikaje huko juu? Na nilipokuwa nikiongea, hatukukuwa na mtu mwingine. Mtu ambaye tulikuwa tu tumeketi na yeye ni my personal assistant, Ngunjiri Wambogo. After internalizing, hapo ndio Gachagua alikuja kujua the only person anaweza kuwa alileak all that information is his personal assistant, who is Ngunjiri Wambogo.
Later, after his troubles escalated, and by this I mean his impeachment, Rigathi Gachagua would make a striking claim. He said that he had discovered spies within his own office, people who are feeding information directly to the president. They planted people for me, people who were working under me as a PA and another assistant. Those people would take information from me and report it back to the president. I learned of that and I immediately chased them away. And suddenly, one name started appearing in those conversations. Ngonjiri Wambogo.
Kwa hivyo usione Gachagua akiwa mjinga sana that ilifika mahali akakufukuza. Alikuja akaketi chini. Akajiuliza nimekuwa impeached. Mambo ingine hata sikuwa yambia mtu. The only person who knew these things was my personal assistant, Ngonjiri Wambogo. How comes ilijulikana? Akakuja kujua maybe and sana Ngonjiri Wambogo was the one who was doing that thing.
According to Gachagua, these insiders were monitoring him closely, ensuring that he never moved anywhere far from the wishes of the presidency. One of them was a short man who used to work for Ruto. I was told that he was trying to sabotage my plans of acquiring the CP. Once I learned of that, I immediately chased him. So, after Gachagua's impeachment, Wambogo started speaking ill of his former boss, that is Gachagua. That relationship had collapsed completely.
We have never insulted Gachagua. The only thing I do is actually speak what I know about him that I don't agree with. And in fact, I actually made a statement. I put out a post and said, if Uhuru joined with Gachagua, I would leave Jubilee. And I'm saying it even here in public. Why? Because I don't agree with the kind of politics I have actually come to learn that Gachagua does. And I would be very disappointed if Uhuru partnered with somebody who does that kind of politics.
And almost immediately, Wambogo found his way back to the Jubilee party. To someone who doesn't understand politics, that may look like coincidence. But critics say that there is a pattern to this madness. That this means once his assignment was done with Gachagua, he was simply reassigned elsewhere.
Na alipofikisha Gachagua aka make sure amekuwa impeached. Aliporudi kwa Ruto akaambiwa nasa hiyo kazi umemaliza, tutakupea kazi nyingine. Sasa ile kazi tunataka ufanye, rudi Jubilee party. Nataka huko ndani every information they have uwasumbue kabisa.
And this is where the controversy begins, because when Wambogo returned to Jubilee, he was welcomed back despite the warnings, despite the accusations, despite Gachagua openly calling him out as a spy. Today, Wambogo has become one of the loud voices inside Jubilee politics, often raising complaints about how Jubilee aspirants are being treated within the united opposition, often questioning how the opposition alliances are being run.
He's coming with very sweet stories. Juzi anakuwa akiwaambia at your deputy party leader Matiang'i ameenda akaendorse Medhu, Senator Nyandarua na si wa Jubilee. Watu ambao tulikuwa nao Kisii, they can tell you that any point tulikuwa tunasimama Kisii, Gachagua alikuwa anaendorse a Jubilee candidate for governor called Machogu kwa sababu walifanya naye kwa serikali. Are we together? But hiyo hakuona, yeye anaona tu ati Matiang'i alienda akaendorse Medhu.
And critics are now asking, is he genuinely defending his own party, or is he slowly trying to break the united opposition from within?
Hizi makatuni zote unaona za kuandamine deputy party leader Matiang'i, za kumweka chini, za kuwapiganisha na Gachagua, my friend, they are coming from one person called Ngonjiri Wambogo.
There is another detail that keeps raising eyebrows. Whenever the president visits Nyeri or other parts of Central Province, Ngonjiri Wambogo is always present, welcoming the president, standing with the government, even though his party is supposed to belong to the united opposition.
Hujai jiuliza kwa nini anytime Ruto akienda Nyeri, the first person mwenye huwa anamkaribisha anakuwa Ngonjiri Wambogo? Ni ukweli ama ni uongo? Hizo picha si mko nazo? Anytime deputy president Kindiki ameenda Nyeri, mwenye huwa anamkaribisha ni Ngonjiri Wambogo. Hata kuna time alikuja akaambiwa Wakikuyu ati waungane nyuma ya Kindiki na Kimani Ichung'wah ati hao ndio wanaweza wasaidia. Yani hata utaki kuambiwa, this is NIS mall.
Which raises a serious political question. If you are truly aligned to the opposition, why are you always appearing alongside the government?
Mimi sikatai. We usually have our differences in the united opposition. Mimi have my differences with Gachagua na huwa nazisema hapa. But you can be able to tell those are our own differences. But hii ya Ngonjiri Wambogo, you can tell this guy is working for William Samoei Ruto and Jubilee Party. If you don't come out soon and disassociate yourself with Ngojiru wa Mbogo, ile madhara atafanya hiyo chama hata nyinyi hamtaamini.
You see, Rigathi Gachagua may have been the first person to publicly sound the alarm. He warned that Wambugu was dangerous, that he was not who people believed him to be. But those warnings appear to have been ignored. Now, some political observers are asking whether leaders like Fred Matiang'i should have taken these warnings more seriously.
Hizi makatuni zinalipwa na NIS. Na mtu mwenye anapewa kazi ya kuzisambaza ni mtu anaitwa Ngojiru wa Mbogo. Akuja hapa akatae.
If the opposition truly wants to win the elections in 2027, they cannot afford to fight an enemy from outside when being weakened from the inside. And in Kenyan politics, one thing remains very true, that sometimes the most dangerous opponent is the one already inside the room.
Musicheze na Kameko, my friend. You know, he usually have a way ya kuonyesha like anawatetea, but this Kameko thing work for NIS. Gachagua alikuja kujua when it was too late. Akiwa deputy president, alikuwa na mambo mingi hata hangejua. Hata chama mingi yenye Gachagua alikataa kununua, zenye alikuwa anatoa na Ngojiru wa Mbogo, zilikuwa zinatoka State House. Gachagua akachanuka, hakununua hizo chama zenye Ngojiri alikuwa analeta. Saa hizi Gachagua hangekuwa na chama. Ngojiri alikuwa anamletea chama, chukua hii Gachagua anakata. Hizo stories zote tunajua. So I'm just telling Jubilee Party, unajua tunaangaliaga hivi na shindo, kwani hamwezi toka SG Deputy Secretary General muambie public that anything Ngojiru wa Mbogo said does not anyhow associate or relate with Jubilee Party. Wacha afanye kazi yake NIS na Wakenya wote wajue huyu ni NIS mole.
One question as we finish this video: do you believe that Ngonjiri is a mole, or is it just a coincidence? Tell me in the comment section, and please subscribe.